My video for August 14th, 2019 is video number 3177, and the title is The Food That Built America on History Channel. Last evening, I watched a few hours of a video on the History Channel. It went into the dramatic changes taking place in the United States after the Civil War. Specifically, the focus was on the packaging of food necessary to move the nation from a mostly agrarian society to one that was dependent on food being brought to the people on rail and other advanced transportation capabilities that changed the face of America and made it the most prosperous nation on earth. Families such as Kellogg and Hershey played a huge role in learning how to mass produce food and get it to the consumer. Heinz, Post, Coca-Cola, Mars, and more were family brands that came into existence at that time. Of course, when I watch anything on TV, I mute the damn commercials. I stopped watching before the program concluded, putting up my next video and going to bed. I'm trying to find a DVD of that most informative story of how we moved from the agrarian age to the industrialized age. However, I need help in finding and obtaining that video. To me, it's worth watching again, and of course, completing it. I cannot find it. Hopefully, someone out there will be able to help with this. Yes, I sort of am chastising myself, although Tuesdays are a day that I have a major thing. I mean, I go directly from my walk in the park to a meeting in an hour's drive away, and I don't get home until between 1 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And then I have to get a nap. I grab a bite to eat, and I go in for my nap. And again, when I come back to the computer now, I'm searching, trying to find how I can get my hands on that video. And I'm not talking about watching it on TV with 4 minutes of commercials breaking every 10 to 15 minutes. And I mean, it's insane. I mean, here's how they do it, folks. They might get you to watch 15 or 20 minutes consecutive of a video and get you into the video. Then they start putting in the commercials, and they diminish the amount of time of the actual video that you're watching, the movie or whatever that you're watching, and they put all these commercials in. Well, I mute the commercials. I don't have any desire to listen to them trying to sell anything. Forget it, anything. It's all meaningless to me. If I want something, I go online and I find what I want and I get it. I don't need advertising. I don't need coercion trying to get me to get something that I have no interest in getting. So anyway, I'm reaching out by making this video to the community, and hopefully someone out there will watch this and have an answer for me on how I can get my hands on this, because I've spent probably the better part of an hour searching and searching, trying to find. I mean, I even went through a list of History Channel documentaries, and it isn't on the list. And it's the one I want to watch. There's other titles that I came across, and it's well over 100 videos. But not the one that I want. And there's other ones, as I started to say, there's other ones that I wouldn't mind watching either, but I don't want to do it on television. I would love to be able to completely get away from television and only use my TV with the DVD player or the video player. I only use that for watching videos because, again, I have no affinity to the commercialization of our world. It is a mind control system, and we don't even know the half of it, I believe, because I think there are messages that are in the commercials and perhaps even in the videos too, I'm not sure, that subconsciously create effects that somebody is trying to manipulate us. Now, one of the things that I find really, really interesting as I was searching through things, looking for that particular video, is that the rich don't pay taxes. And that was one of the things that came up in the video. The taxes are all put off on the poor and the middle class people that can least afford it. The entrepreneurs, if you will, set up the system so that they are tax-free. They provide jobs and whatnot to further entrap people. We need to break free from this matrix. And I would like to find a way that we can actually do that. Now, in the discussion today, it came up once again that everything is in divine order. Well, bullshit, it's in divine order. Humanity being enslaved cannot be divine order as I see it. And I keep hearing, but we created it, Ron. We did it to ourselves. No, we didn't. You can only do something to yourself if you're informed of what you're doing. And babies that are brainwashed from their youth are not fully informed. They can only regurgitate what their parents tell them. And most people, although it's changing more and more, most people don't think outside the box, or unwilling to explore. Now, some of these famous people, they were thinking outside the box. They were visionaries. They had a plan. And in fact, Hershey was one of the most interesting ones, because he took people and he says, this is where I want to build my factory. And he's building his factory and building a community that didn't exist in the middle of the dairy farm belt, if you will, in southeastern Pennsylvania between Philadelphia and Harrisburg. And he built this whole town. He hadn't even figured out how to make the product that the chocolate that he wanted. He wanted to do it using milk, but it didn't. There were many errors and many attempts at resolving the issues, and he actually fired, if I remember right, he fired one of the scientists that was working on it because he wasn't coming up with answers that were needed. And he finally found the answer. The town is being built, and he's got the factory there, and he's hiring workers, and he still doesn't know how to make the product that he's building it for. So it took a lot of faith to go that far. And then, of course, he ended up providing chocolate because the machines that made the chocolate, he put a patent on it and bought them all up and said, you can't sell them to anybody else. And so his competition, he ended up going into partnership with his competition, which was the Mars Company, which was a local candy producer, if you will, but it was only in Minnesota. And there's all sorts of very interesting connections in that video. And to me, it's worth watching. And actually, I think some of the other things on the History Channel also would be worth watching. That is one television station that, I wish it would be commercial free, because they are so annoying to me. But that's simply not the reality, at least not where I live. And I don't know how to change that without spending a whole lot more money, which I don't have a lot of. Anyway, if anybody can help me with this situation and steer me in a direction where I can get my hands on that DVD, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.